Hello and welcome to Team CG Reviews Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms. I'm your host Cg Leviathan, also known as Bo. So as the intro suggests, we're going to review Ghost Recon Phantom. Now, for those of you that don't know about this game is actually new to the Steam. It's free to play, which is very nice, because I've been looking for a shooter for a while now that's been free to play. Now, there are a few things that you need to know about the game before I start showing you gameplay footage and the guys and I start talking about the game and, giving our points of view on it, and then how we would rate it, seeing as how this is going to be the first video game review we're doing. Now, the important things in the game, there are only 3 classes in the game, as you can see it right here. It's got an assault, a recon, and a support class. The assault class is the guy with the most health in the game. In fact, each class has different health pools, starting with recon as the lowest at 100, support having 120, and your assault class having 140. Which means those guys are designed to take a lot more hits. For your assault class, you have the same loadout as just about every other class, but I'll get to the loadouts in a minute. Your assault classes are able to take shotguns or assault rifles. As you can see here, I also have an assault rifle that I could take for my assault class. Yes, I know, it's only level 4. Bear with me. So, your recon class is able to take a submachine gun or a sniper rifle. So really, he's either the close combat guy in the sense that he's just going to pull the trigger and kill you, or you're going to kill him, or he's going to sit back and, plink at you with that sniper rifle. There are those of you that like that. As you can see by me being level 1, I am not that kind of a player. And finally, we have the support, which has the light machine gun, which obviously I'm loving at the moment, and I have the option of taking the shotgun as well, seeing as how I'm also designed to be a close combat fighter with that shotgun. Now, speaking of loadouts, let's talk about that for a little bit. Alright, your loadouts come with every loadout for every class has the option of taking one main weapon, depending on the classes, depending on your choices, followed by a secondary weapon, which is going to be your pistol, and there are lots of pistols to choose from. You have your tack suit, which is basically your body armor from what I understand. You've got your option for your headpiece, which actually provides nothing more than just a, hey cool, I got this headpiece. You've got this loadout, which is your device loadout, which depending on your classes, depending on the different things. For your assault classes, they tend to be crazy. Like one of the early game assault ones is you have the ability to pull out a collapsible riot shield that you just start running as you have the riot shield. You're bulletproof when charging from the front. Shots in the rear still hurt you though. Also with the riot shield, whenever you hit somebody, you knock them on their ass and they have to get back up. Kind of a neat trick. Also, the assault class has this thing in the back. I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it the little bot, because that's what it's basically a robot. What the robot does is, depending on the loadout, for currently I have the microwave loadout, which basically when I activate the little robot, it shoots microwaves at my opponent. For those of you who don't know, yes, microwaves are a thing. It's not the big box in your kitchen that heats up your pizza. Alright, so the microwaves can kill people and does more damage over time the longer it targets people. That's kind of a cool thing. I haven't gotten to see any of the other loadouts, but I know there's lots more, and those are just going to be some of the things that you guys are going to have to discover while you play the game. The recon has loadouts, as you can see. I don't have any because I'm not really the recon player, as I stated earlier. It's got a stealth ability I know for sure on the recon, and I don't know what the other ones are, but I'll let you guys figure that out. Now, some of the favorite ones I found on the support is the support has the ability to create a bubble that makes them temporarily bulletproof, that with the right people and the right combinations, that is devastating in its own, as well as the recon has the option of taking an EMP. Yes, there's EMPs in the game. No, it's not going to destroy everything, but it's going to seriously cripple you and your teammates for a few seconds, buying you time sometimes. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other aspects in this game that I really felt are noteworthy to point out. Right here at the bottom, you can see it says firing range. What this is you can look at different guns in the game and test them out and play around with them. As you can see, it's got the nice little, targeting things that eventually in a few seconds, see, look, it pops back up. It also gives you the chance to learn how to it gives you the chance to learn how to activate some of the abilities in the game and get more comfortable with fighting in the game. Now, that being said, a big thing that I'm gonna say is, for those of you that want to go play this game, try playing around in the firing range for like 5 minutes at most, just so you understand the way the game's going to work. Because otherwise, when you drop into that first game, yes, they separate the beginners and the non-beginners in their own little games, but it's still, if you've got somebody who's been playing a couple games, he's already got a leg up on you. Take the time, go to the firing range, practice it out. Also, in the store, which, again, convenient little shopping cart, has got different weapons you can buy. Buy your weapons. Find a class you like, stick with the base weapons, find the class you like more often than not, buy your guns. Now, because this is a free-to-play game, like most free-to-play games, there is the option of buying in-game gold, currency, whatever we want to call it. From what I understand and from what I've seen, it is not a huge advantage. It basically says, hey, I can get that gun faster, but any normal player can eventually get it too. So, if you want to spend the money, you've got the option. If you don't, that's fine. You're not really at a disadvantage for now. Eventually, you know, you're going to get the gun. Maybe your gun isn't as good as you would like, but hey, that's life. Alright, well, now I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to show you the gameplay footage, and while we're talking, you'll have something cool to look at, so you're not just staring at a black screen. Alright. Alright, we're back, and so, quick thing before the match starts. As you load into the match, you're going to get to choose between all the classes you want to play, which is nice, because basically what that says is, hey, you know, I want to play my assault class. Keep in mind, once you picked your class in the game, you're stuck in that game, in that class for the game matches. Matches can go 3 rounds. If you win, they win. There's always a tiebreaker. There are no official draws except for one weird way, which I'll get to during the review. So, as I was saying, with the in-game draw system, the way it works is in every game there are points you can capture, and other points you have to defend depending on which side of the spectrum you are on, whether you're the capturing or the defending. So the way it works is, let's say the game mode is set so you have to capture all objectives in order to win, and your opponent's team has to defend at least one objective in order to win. So the way that you can actually get a draw, from the way I understand it, and I think they fixed this in a patch, you know, soon after I recorded that first half of the video, is the point system in that fact. So if there's 3 objectives that need to be captured, right, and you only capture 2, and your opponent holds 1 at the end of the first round. On the second round, if your opponent captures 2 and you guys only hold 1, you've each tied, therefore the match is declared a draw. Now that system to me sounds a little weird, but I understand the reasoning behind it, because it makes it so that way that it's a 2-game mode instead of 3, and that was a big change that they added in that quick little patch that they did. So, that being said, that was the whole thing with the patch. Now, the other things we need to talk about is what Ghost Recon is. Now, Ghost Recon Phantoms is actually the 3rd installment in the Ghost Recon franchise. So, prior to that, Ghost Recon has been released for PS3 and PS3, and apparently it's also been released for the Wii, which I don't really understand why they're releasing shooter games for the Wii when the Wii is designed for children, but hey, that's not up to me. So, Ghost Recon Phantoms, the main difference is in between that and the previous Ghost Recons is simple. This one is for the Steam at the moment. I don't believe it's out for any of the consoles. It's free to play, which is a big thing, but I'll touch more on that later. And there's no storyline. But, well, let's jump into the storyline now. Out of maximum points 5, I can't really, in good conscience, reward this thing negative or positive points due to the fact that it doesn't have a storyline, because the game doesn't need one. So, in this scale, I think out of 5 points, you know, I'm gonna give it just a dash, and we're just not even gonna count it for this review. The second main one is the look of the game. How does the game look? How do the levels look? You know, when you're watching the game, is it as magical as Skyrim, or is it as, you know, blockish as Minecraft is really going to be the issue with this? The way the game looks is, you guys are watching it right now as I'm talking to you. So, the look of the game, I feel, you really feel that third person kind of like off to the shoulder look. I think that was a great idea. I think it made the game, because I know they've done it in the last couple Ghost Recon games, and they've done it in lots of other shooters. It makes a difference because it's not a first-person shooter. So, I don't know, I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people do. There's actually a button in the game, apparently, so if you like to look from the left shoulder or the right shoulder as a preference, there's actually a button that switches it for you. I haven't needed to use that, but apparently it's there. As far as the levels look, I think the levels look they're not overly detailed, but they're not under-detailed. They got a nice variety of cover. As I've been playing the game more, since I recorded that first initial footage, I've actually played the game a lot more. There's actually a lot more levels, and levels actually get released based off of your level in the game. So it's kind of a way to determine, hey, you're not used to seeing this type of terrain. Well, as you progress to level 10 and 11 and so on, they release more terrain types with varying degrees. In fact, there's an entire level that's a massive city, and you're taking objectives in it, and I thought that was amazing. Granted, you're limited to a quadrant of the city, but it was still impressive to me that they designed these huge skyscrapers that you don't even go into. But you can see that there's little detail work here and there. So as far as looks of the game, I'm going to give it a 4, because I have heard other people gripe that the other Ghost Recon games did look better, and this is from their player base as well as, on forums and things like that. So taking those things into account, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, just really because it could be cleaned up in a lot of people's opinion. Other people think it's just fine. I look at it, hey, it's a free-to-play game. I'm not going to gripe too much, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. The next big point is going to be the playability of the game. How does it play? Is it flowing? What's the goods, the bads of it? The real issue I'm having with the playability is there's no solo player, but again, they don't have a solo player simply because there's no storyline. So, you gotta take that into context. But they do have, as I pointed out earlier, the firing range. So, if you want to take that into account, that is kind of the solo player and help you really deal with the control schemes. Now, speaking of control schemes, let's take a look at that. Now, as you guys seen throughout the video playing so far, the control schemes are a little... The word's not awkward, but I feel like I'm missing something, because I've played a lot of other first-person shooter games, and I've become codependent, as stupid as it is, on the ability to jump. In this game, there is no jumping. If you want to get over an obstacle, you gotta run up to the obstacle and be holding E or whatever you keybind it to get over the obstacle. But sometimes you want to be able to jump up and shoot somebody down. Otherwise, there's no way to do that. So, that being said, it's a silly little complaint, but that's a complaint I have that most people don't seem to care about. And I actually asked while I was on the game, hey, what do you think about adding a jump button? People are like, it doesn't need one. So, fine. Weapons in the game. From what I've seen by looking through all the shops and whatnot and actually playing with people, there are lots of weapons. There's lots of tac suits. Apparently the different tactical suits do different things, and I haven't even begun to get the tip of the iceberg on that. The headpieces, I like the fact that the game launched and there wasn't just like the preset ones and 2 or 3. There's about 2 pages worth, which was kind of nice. So I think that's a great... The next big thing that has to be identified that I don't know if other people are going to want to talk about this, but hey, I feel the need to. Grenades. In all the other previous Ghost Recon games, there were no grenades. They brought them into this game. Now, because it's a consumable and it's an optional item, they did something kind of different with it, which I kind of respect them for trying this out. What it is you buy your grenades in sets of 5, and you use them in your game, and you can equip them to your loadout. Now, the trick, or not the trick, the sticky part on it is you literally only have 5 grenades. So every time you die, you get to refresh with 2. But if you've thrown a total of 5 in a game, you're out. That's it. Now, there are ways around that, like I have done. I've bought multiple grenade loadouts, so they're all about the same, and there you go. When I run out of 5, I load in the next one when I die. It's not the worst thing, but it is what it is. The reason why people are complaining about that is simply because the advantageous of the grenade basically is really driving home the, hey, spend money, otherwise you gotta spend your in-game money to constantly be refreshing grenades, which, aren't that expensive, but 300 in-game points when you only make 400 per game sometimes, it's starting to cost you here and there. That's, but again, that's a playability. As far as playability as now overall score, I really feel that some of the controls are a little sticky. Some of them are just nice and it's fluid. You can tell that they really spend a lot of time on this. So I'm going to give it a 5. I mean, I could be more critical, but I have yet to find anything that really just makes me hate this game for some stupid little reason. So I'm giving it a 5. So that brings our total to, out of story, we're not counting anything, so that's a big fat dash through. Our max points on the look of the game is 5, and out of 5 we're giving it 4, and then our playability is going to be 5 out of 5, which will bring us to a total of 9 out of 10 points. So, that's my thoughts. A couple other thoughts on the game is the free-to-play aspect. Is it working for this game? As I've played this game more and more and gotten a lot further in the game, I've realized there are people in this game that are just going to dump the credit card. And I was incorrect in my earlier statement where you needed to be certain levels to access certain tiers of the weapons. Apparently, if you use money to buy the guns, you don't need to be. Which means you can be that level 8 running around with like a level 16 gun. It doesn't seem like it would be a huge issue, but the difference in a tier 1 gun versus a tier 7 gun, the damage ratios are crazy. If you get the body armor once, you just absorb bullets like a madman. So for those of us who aren't dropping the credit card to spend money to play the game, it really is hampering us a lot more. That being said, it's not the worst thing. If you enjoy the game, you're going to play it anyways. And if you don't want to drop the credit card, that just means you just got to up the skill level on your own self to really get better. Otherwise, as a whole, love the game. Can't wait to see what other things that come out for the game. So, as far as you guys, what did you guys think of the game? So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like the game? You think I'm right? You think I'm wrong? You think, hey, Bo, you're stupid. This game is horrible. You should have given it X points. As always, guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out our League of Legends videos that come out throughout the week, as well as our Troll Day Mondays. We have Borderlands 2s. We're on a little bit of a stall right now to work schedules and things like that, but that'll be starting back up again on Fridays, hopefully next week. We've got other League of Legends videos that come out throughout the week, and yeah, that does it. Oh, also, we'll have a Minecraft series starting up pretty soon here, if, I can get time to finish editing that amongst all the other things I do in life. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.